morning everyone. This is Manali Raj. Welcome to the CSA Relay program presented by Chanakya IAS Academy, Patna. In this segment, we demonstrate about the daily important highlights from the perspective of our civil services examination. Let us have a brief overview of today's headlines. Meta launches Threads app. India signs MOU with Tanzania to set up IIT Madras campus. Finance Minister pushes for reforms to spur FDI. India expects European Union carbon tax to hit exports of steel and iron. Netherlands to return colonial era acquisitions to Sri Lanka and Indonesia. Some synoptic reports from today's news includes about Pisces Treaty and dark patterns. Moving into the details of the news, Meta launches Threads app. Meta has unveiled an app to rival Twitter, appearing to target users looking for an alternative to the social media platform owned and frequently changed by Elon Musk. Called Threads, the new offering is built as a text-based version of Meta's photo-sharing app Instagram, and that provides a new separate space for real-time updates and public conversations. Meta emphasized measures to keep users safe, including enforcing Instagram's community guidelines and providing tools to control who can mention or reply to users. Meta's new offering, however, has raised data privacy concerns. Threads could collect a wide range of personal information, including health, financial, contacts, browsing and search history, location, data purchases, and sensitive informations. India signs MOU with Tanzania to set up IIT Madras campus. In a significant development that sets the ball rolling for IIT Madras Global Campus to start operations this year, India signed an MOU with Tanzania to establish the first IIT branch abroad in Tanzania. The IIT Tanzania campus is expected to open in October 2023, welcoming 50 undergraduate and 20 master's students in its first batch. The agreement was signed between India's Ministry of Education, IIT Madras, and Tanzania's Ministry of Education and Vocational Training, Zanzibar. While IIT Madras will have the last word on academic programs, curricula, and student selection criteria, the capital and operating expenditure will be met by the government of Zanzibar, Tanzania. Students graduating from this camp will be awarded IIT Madras degrees. Finance Minister pushes for reforms to spur FDI. The Finance Ministry has made a strong pitch for measures to facilitate foreign direct investment flows that dipped last year and may remain subdued in coming months, mooting greater attention from policymakers to resolving challenges faced by global investors, including last-mile infrastructure issues and the inability to set up larger factories. Blaming the dip in FDI inflows in 2022-23 to inflationary pressures and tighter monetary policies, the ministry noted that FDI flows may also be impacted by political distance more than the geographical distance, as geopolitics has dominated geography. Gross FDI flows moderated 16% last year from the record high of $84.8 billion in 2021-22, while net flow inflows fell a sharper 27.4%. India expects European Union carbon tax to hit exports of steel and iron. The European Union's introduction of a carbon border adjustment mechanism with 20% to 35% tariffs on high carbon exports could impede India's exports of steel, iron ore, and cement, according to the country's finance ministry. The European Union planned to levy the tariff from 2026 and will start requiring reports of carbon content for such exports from October 1, 2023. India's merchandise trade deficit rose faster than expected in May to $22.12 billion, up from $15.24 billion in April. This was due to the reduced demand for Indian exports from developed countries. Netherlands to return colonial era acquisitions to Sri Lanka and Indonesia. The Netherlands is handing back hundreds of valuable artifacts it removed from Indonesia and Sri Lanka during the colonial period, including the cache of precious stones, gold and silver jewelry looted by the Dutch troops from a Balinese royal palace known as the Lombok treasure. The 484 objects are the first the Netherlands is restituting to its former Asian colonies after a 2020 report by an advisory committee that urged the government to unconditionally return looted cultural artifacts if requested by their countries of origin. It comes in the wake of a step-changing 2017 speech by the French president Emmanuel Macron that declared the return of African objects a top priority. France, Belgium, Germany, and Netherlands have started to investigate collections in ethnological museums and transferred numerous objects to their country of origin. Coming to the synoptic reports, Pisces Treaty. The UN adopted the Marine Biodiversity of Areas Beyond National Jurisdiction, or the High Seas Treaty, on June 19. It became the third agreement to be approved under the UN Convention on Laws of the Sea after the 1994 and 1995 treaties, which established the International Seabed Authority and the Fish Stocks Agreement. The treaty aims to address critical issues such as the increasing sea surface temperatures, overexploitation of marine biodiversity, overfishing, coastal pollution, and unsustainable practices beyond national jurisdiction. Many developed countries oppose the treaty as they stand by private entities which are at the forefront of advanced research and development in marine technology. Russia and China are also not in the favor of the treaty. Dark patterns. The Department of Consumer Affairs and Advertising Standards Council of India recently held a joint consultation with stakeholders on the menace of dark patterns. The Advertising Standards Council of India has come up with the guidelines for the same, with the central government also working towards the norms against the dark patterns. A dark pattern refers to a design or user interface technique that is intentionally crafted to manipulate or deceive users into making certain choices or taking specific actions that may not be in their best interest. Many believe that the use of dark patterns is a business strategy. The legality of dark patterns is a complex matter, as distinguishing between manipulation and fraudulent intent can be challenging. As of now, there are no specific regulations in place in most nations against the dark patterns. With the growing use of e-platforms, a robust legal mechanism is the need of the hour. The Indian government should also amend existing laws to specifically address dark patterns. To do this, new rules aimed against deceptive design practices may need to be introduced, along with the updated consumer protection laws and data protection legislation. That was all for today. Stay tuned to our channel for standardizing your civil services examination preparation. Thank you.